I've just snuck out from inside with these two guys. This is my rubbish bin and my recycling box. I've got a few extra people staying with us at the moment and they're hanging around the house a bit more than usual. And what I've noticed is that's had an impact on what's been going in my bins. So today, I'm going to sort through and see what I can rescue. Let's have a look at the rubbish bin to start off with. Alright, let's get this guy out of there. I'll put on some gloves in case this gets a little bit funky. Ahoy! You can already see a few things. I'm going to reuse that. Put that back in there. Okay, first thing I can see is lots of soft plastics. Now you can't put soft plastics in your recycling bin, but you can rescue them, take them back to the supermarket and pop them in a red cycle bin. So here we go. We've got ourselves a bread bag, and I've got a Ziploc bag that's had a bit of a blowout. I can rescue that for red cycle. Oh, come on, who was using cling wrap in my house? At least I can rescue it and put it into red cycle. Then I've got some chippy packets I can rescue, and I can put that in there. Alright, we've got that collected up, ready to go. Now I can see lots of little bits of foil, and that can be quite confusing. They can go into the recycling, but we need to get them all together. If we put the top of the yogurt, like this foil here, in the recycling bin on its own like this, it's going to float like a piece of paper and get sorted and go off in the wrong direction. So what we need to do is crush it up with a bunch of other foil. There's some alfoil, there's a yogurt pot top, there's a pie tray. We'll crush that up into a ball, pop it in the recycling, and then it can get sorted through our facility. Alright, there's that guy. Hey, how'd this guy get in there? There's an aluminium can. Definitely get that into your recycling. Or, even better, my local school collects these because they're worth 10 cents and they use it for fundraising. So I'm going to put it over here for them. Now, takeaway container. Still got some curry going on in there. There's a plastic fork in here. Try and avoid these if possible. If you do need to use one, at least wash it up and reuse it again and again and again. And same with this plastic container. I'm actually going to take the food and the dirty napkin out of here, probably put it in my compost and feed some to my chooks. And I'm going to wash this up and reuse as much as possible. Alright, let's get that one back to the kitchen. What else have we got here? Hey, banana peel. How'd that get in there? I do have a compost bucket inside, but these two bins were separate, so somebody got confused and threw this in the rubbish. I'm going to see if I can find a container to reuse. Oh, there you go. There's that yogurt pot. Pop that in there. That makes a great chook bucket. Now, sushi. Somebody's been supporting our local again, but this container can actually go into the recycling. Plastic bottles and containers are fantastic for recycling. Last but not least, we've got ourselves a snotty tissue. Kind of glad someone put that in the rubbish bin. Shouldn't go into the recycling. But I'm really lucky I've got a fireplace, so I'm just going to burn that and get rid of it, so it doesn't even have to go to landfill. I'm going to sit that one over there and burn it later on. Glad I wore gloves. Let's check out our recycling box now. I've got a pizza box. Supporting the locals again. But pizza boxes are alright. The reason why I say but is because I have a feeling there's something inside this that shouldn't be there when it goes into the recycling. Yep, we got ourselves some pizza crust. I'm going to get that out, send that off for my chookies. Now this pizza box is pretty good. You could put the whole thing in the recycling. If there was too much food stuck to it, I'd probably tear that off and throw that into my compost, and then that bit for recycling. But this one's good to go. Perfect for recycling. I've got a milk bottle here. Oh, they've just about nailed it with this one. They've rinsed it. It's empty of all the old milk. They popped the lid back on. Now a lot of people say to me, lid on, lid off. I like to take the lid off. It's not really a big one. The reason why I take the lid off is because it reminds me that this has to be empty before I put it into the recycling bin. Lid on is also a small amount of contamination. Whether you have lid off or lid on, the one thing is make sure that it's empty. Oh, last one to think of though, please don't squash it because it won't react, it won't sort properly through the sorting machines. If you flatten it, it reacts quite differently. We sort with computers and it needs to be a whole bottle for it to make it through. So there you go, that'll keep it as a whole bottle shape. So that can go in the recycling. Glass bottle, the only glass that can go in are glass bottles and jars into your recycling. But this guy, remember those 10 cents from a school? I'm going to grab that over there for my 10-cent collection. We've got a couple of aerosols here. One's a deodorant and one's a hairspray. These are both good for recycling. What you can do is take off the lids. These guys are made of plastic. Now, with plastic, size does matter. If it's too small, the machines can't sort it. So the smallest plastic container that we can put in the recycling is about the size of a little yogurt pot. Here's one I prepared earlier. Here's a little yogurt pot, and that lid off of the hairspray is about the same size as the yogurt pot, so it can go in. But this lid that's come off of the hairspray is a bit smaller. So unfortunately, it's got to go in the rubbish bin. And if you're really keen, you could even take the nozzles off. But again, they're too small, so I'm going to pop them into the rubbish bin. Voila. And these are ready for recycling. We've also got a juice popper in here. The straw's out though, it's empty, and there's no little bit of plastic, which makes me a bit worried because that wasn't in my rubbish bin, which means it's somewhere in my house, so I'll have to go find that. But these guys are great for the recycling bin, but also your 10 cents. So I'm going to collect that for the school again and get their 10 cents for that. Whoa, hello. Someone's been doing some shredded paper in the home office. Now there's two problems here. One, it's inside a plastic bag. Never put plastic bags into your recycling bin. Remember, get it back for that soft plastic recycling at Red Cycle. The second problem is shredded paper. Whether it's in a plastic bag or not, it shouldn't go into your recycling bin. Shredded paper hits that sorting facility and goes everywhere. You cannot sort the stuff. It's really difficult. But what I can do is take that down to my compost bin and I'll keep that plastic bag with my soft plastic recycling. Perfect. Hey, toilet roll. Perfect for recycling. Could compost it if I want. Just happy it's not still sitting empty on the roll. Now we've got a cup here. This guy's got a nice big crack in him, so I can't reuse him in the kitchen anymore, and he definitely can't go in the recycling bin. I might be able to reuse it in the garden though. I've been looking for something to scoop out my potting mix, so that might be the one for me. I'm going to pop it over there for reuse. Oh, now I see why this one's probably caused some confusion. If you have a look on the bottom of this, there's a number 4 in a triangle. We don't use those numbers in the triangle anymore. All you have to remember is think about, is it a plastic bottle or is it a plastic container? If it is, it can go into the recycling bin. This guy isn't, even with that number in the triangle. But what he is soft plastics. And can go to Red Cycle. Pop him in there. Oh, hello. There's a random one. Plastic toothbrush. Can't go in the recycling bin here. But I did notice down at my local dentist, he's got something called TerraCycle. And he collects all the dentistry stuff like toothpaste, toothbrushes. So I'm going to take it down there and get it recycled. Whoa, who did this one? Somebody had a takeaway coffee and they've got the cup. Now this poor old cup's been torn up. Somebody got very frustrated. So it can't be reused anymore. But it cannot go in your recycling bin either. They're really difficult for us to sort at the moment. What you can do, if you're going past the 7-Eleven, is they have a recycling station that you can put these cups in. So please drop it off there. So again, it's going to sit off to the side and waiting. So that's my recycling box, nice and empty. So just remember, glass bottles and jars, plastic bottles and containers, steel and aluminium, cans and aerosols, crushed foil and clean paper and cardboard. Get all your food waste out, get all your soft plastics out, and that will get you perfectly recycling. Keep it simple, keep it clean, and keep it going. They're the golden rules when it comes to recycling. But don't forget, avoid as much as possible, reduce, reuse. All those actions really help when it comes to what goes in our bins. So see if you can try this at home, ladies and gents. Have a bit of a rubbish sort at home and see what you can change. One little action will make a really big difference. I'm now going to go in and have a talk to the people staying at my house and see if I can help them recycle right.